sign the redistricting reform ballot petition. I have for Hamilton, Warren, Butler, and Claremont County here, so see me afterwards.
Warren.
Well, I have Warren too.
Hamilton.
Announcement? There's lots of. Announcement?
Karen and I are with the new group reforms. We're having another meeting, very much like we did Sunday. It'll be a 30-minute video followed by discussion on getting big money out of government. It's a really, really educational background information. I don't care how long you've been in politics, this is stuff you want to know. One of the things that they say is make move to amend this constitutional amendment, your number 2 issue, because it's not very sexy, as Bernie said that. Okay, so this is June 22nd. It'll be held at the Madeira Public Library, and there are little cards, 6:30 to 8, 6:30 to 8, yeah. And these are on the literature table.
Hi, Monica Lira here. We still have signs. We have some new signs. I got 50 in, and we have them here today. They're $10 each. If you would like to have welcome to the neighborhood signs, and just come and see me. Let me know how many you want. If you want more than one, if you want like 10 or 20, I'll be glad to provide them to you. Also, too, I'm with the evening group that's on every other Mondays, but now has switched to once a month in summer in the evening, up at the Red Rose Pizzeria. And our next person that will be happening, Lynn Hunzak, on the 20th of July, 6 to 8 p.m. She's going to be talking about sexual harassment. I'm sorry? Yeah, in general, not specifically, but in general. If you're interested in that, please join us. The food is always good, also $10 for food. We encourage you to come and join us. Thank you.
Robert Sturdivant, the Cincinnati Educational Justice Coalition. We're having we're going to have a very exciting meeting in July. One of our most active members, Sarah Stitzlin, has written a book on public education, and we are working to get an AFT grant so that the book will be half price. And a couple days, a week or so after all that comes in, we're going to have a book discussion that I'm going to provide catering and adult beverages. So you can think about that. But it'll probably be at the Fire Museum. We're always the second Tuesday at 315 West Court Street from 6 to about 7:30. The meeting may be it'll go a little bit longer. We'll have a meet the author, and I'll make sure the information. If it wasn't for her, none of my information would ever get out. And isn't it nice you don't have to be 70 years old to have blue hair anymore? I love this event. Okay, thank you.
Great, Harley. I love that. Anyone else? Fine, stereotype.
Oh, I got one more, I'm sorry. Sue, our lovely model, has our latest t-shirt from Cincinnati Educational Justice Coalition. All right, okay, thank you.
And so for our speaker today, Emma Clossy is here from the Mill Creek Watershed Community. She has a graduate of Purdue University with a bachelor's degree in environmental policy. And then she went after that to Cincinnati State, where she got an associate's degree working with watershed and the problems that we have with watershed around the area. I never thought you could get a degree in that, but boy, the understanding. I know a lot of you in here are as old as I am, and there was a TV series on years ago called V. Remember that? And these guys came from outer space, and they were coming to get our most prized natural source. You remember what it was? Water. And so everything we talk about with water is very important to us. It's the most important thing that we can do. Our bodies are made up mostly of water. And so everything we think about in water, Emma's going to talk to us about. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that introduction, and thank you all for having me today. I'm really excited to be here and talk to you about the work that the Mill Creek Watershed Council of Communities does. My name is Emma Clossy. I'm our Program and Outreach Director over there, and I'm going to get started because I know we need to be done by 1, and I need to be done before that. All right, so these are 2 images that I like to put up of the Mill Creek then and now. And most people who live in Cincinnati have at least heard of the Mill Creek, although I encounter a stunning number of people who have never heard of the Mill Creek.
Is the other microphone on? Make sure the other microphone is off.
Is it?
I think it's probably, who's got the other mic?
Yeah, where's the other mic?
It's off.
Okay, well, we'll just keep going. So on the left, we have an actual photo of the Mill Creek historically. I think this is probably late 1800s, and this is what a lot of people think of when they think of the Mill Creek. And it is pretty accurate historically. But the photo on the right is actually a photo from last year of one of our board members out paddling on the Mill Creek. And these are the types of images that we're really starting to see a lot more of due to the work that the Watershed Council has been engaging in since 1995. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we were incorporated in 1995 to build consensus among watershed communities. And we've been having a lot of success over time in implementing water quality improvement projects and generally just getting people interested in supporting the comeback of the Mill Creek. So a brief history just of the Mill Creek, for those of you who might not be familiar with its history. So it was originally actually named Makatiwa, which was the Native American word for the Mill Creek, and the first time it was called Mill Creek was in 1787. In the 1700s and early 1800s, settlement began in the Mill Creek Valley, and a lot of the slaughterhouses along the Mill Creek first appeared at that time, as well as some of the factories starting to crop up. The combined sewer overflow system that we have here in Cincinnati, which you may or may not have heard about the issues that we have with that system, that began actually in 1836. So that goes back a long way. Of the 4 rivers in the area, the Mill Creek is the most impacted by the CSO system. There are 100 or more than 100 overflows that discharge into the Mill Creek. Throughout the 1800s, we saw more factories, more development, and a lot of tree cover get reduced throughout the Mill Creek Valley. And then in the late 1800s, the Cincinnati Health Department declared the Mill Creek a nuisance. So that reputation goes back pretty far. And then in the early 1900s, we started to see a lot of water withdrawn from the creek and then returned to it, hot, polluted, all kinds of things. So the abuse of the Mill Creek goes back centuries at this point. There was additional construction. The channelized section in the bottom 8 miles was installed, I believe, in the 70s, although I don't have a date for that. And in the late 90s, it was actually named the most endangered urban river in America by American Rivers. Yeah, we get that a lot. And that came on the heels of an Ohio EPA report in 1994 that showed that the water quality and the habitat quality throughout the Mill Creek was really poor. So in 1995, as a result of that report, as well as pushes from the Cincinnati Council and a lot of stakeholders, the council was incorporated in 1995, as I mentioned before. So what we do specifically today, and we've done parts of this over time, but I'm really going to talk about the organization that we've evolved into. We have been as small as 1 person, a part-time executive director in our past. Currently, we are at 3 full-time staff, 2 part-time staff, a contractor and 2 interns. So we've really grown a lot. One thing that we do, or are, is actually a regional watershed assistance center. This is a grant program from Ohio EPA with 319 grant money. And essentially, it is what it sounds like. We are a resource to really any communities or any organizations within the watershed. We provide guidance on how to implement stormwater projects and stream restoration projects. And one of the things that we really excel at is writing grant applications on behalf of watershed communities to win them federal and state grant money to implement those projects. So that is kind of our overarching role in the watershed. I have a counterpart, his name is Jim Moyer, he's our project manager, and he provides project management for those projects. So the communities don't have to worry about going out and finding the contractors to do the work or another project manager. All of that runs through our office. We also have an educational component, which is why I'm here today. So those projects that I mentioned, I'm just gonna briefly talk about some of the ones we have going right now. Or actually, I'm gonna talk about the ones from last year. And as I mentioned, we're pretty good at winning grant money. When we totaled up all of the projects that were in various stages last year, we brought $6.94 million into the watershed. And some of our past projects that you may be familiar with include the Wildermuth Wetland Restoration. This is up in Butler County. It's actually accessible through the Upper Mill Creek Water Reclamation Facility in Butler County. And, oh, it just kept going by itself. Interesting. And then, I guess that's my cue. Oh, stop. Okay, I think we're good. We also partner with schools often because a lot of our projects have to be done on public property as part of the grant agreements. It's just gonna play with me. 1 second. Okay, I think now it will just... All right, I'll just try to keep up with it. That's probably good pacing for me. The Hopewell Elementary was a stormwater retention project. We also have one over at College Hill that we're just starting. This is Twin Creek Preserve, which is accessible in Sharonville. This is a before and an after, and on to current projects. We're gonna just slow down. Anyway, this is a map of our current projects. We've got them scattered all over the watershed. I do have watershed maps in the back if you're not familiar with the outlines of the watershed and where you live within it. This is a very big one. We kicked this off, we had a groundbreaking in March. It is a restoration of about 3,000 linear feet of stream along the Hartwell Golf Course in Hartwell. And it's in partnership with yeah, I think that's the spot, that's the problem. It's in partnership with the City of Cincinnati Parks, with Duke Energy, with Buyer Steel, Ohio EPA, I'm forgetting people and I apologize, but there are like 7 partners on the project. And it's a couple $1 million as well. I think it's about a $3.85 million project. So this is in progress right now. It looks worse than it did before because there's not much green left, but in a lot of these cases, things have to look worse before they look better. And the benefits that we're going to see from this project include stabilizing the stream banks. They erode pretty heavily along that area. We are excavating many, many tons of asbestos shingles that were dumped down the stream bank historically, as well as a lot of other nasty mystery surprises. There are 2 sewer crossings through the stream at that point, and one of the things that we see a lot in the Mill Creek are utility crossings. And the problem with that is that they were usually historically protected with a large, thick layer of concrete, which erodes over time and makes our infrastructure susceptible. Not only that, those sewer crossings and utility crossings create fish barriers, so we don't see the biodiversity we would like to see in a stream that didn't have those barriers to fish, plural, passage up and down the stream. One of the other projects, very closely related to that, is a Lowhead Dam mitigation project. We're in the design process for this right now, and it's going to take 2 low-head dams. You can see one in the picture right here. It's a drop of a couple feet, and fish just can't jump, neither can I, but they really can't, back up the stream. And so what we're doing is we're going to install very long, gradual rock riffles to make both fish and canoes able to pass by. And the benefits of this one, again, very similar to the last one in terms of creating additional ability for the aquatic life to move around. We're going to protect that infrastructure, and we also are going to make it easier for our yacht club to paddle through this section of the Mill Creek. And finally, this project is actually wrapping up.